Hello. Happy Sunday. So I'm seeing Marilyn here. Hi. How was your week? How are you? Oh, hi, Remy. You're more than welcome to join if you want, even if it's for 10 minutes. Well, no, you're no longer alone. Remy's here to the rescue. That's not fun. At least the week is over and a new week starts. Mondays, as I was told, not a new opportunity, new week, new day. Start something new. What about you, Remy? It's your third week at your new job. How did that go? Third? Second? Time flies so fast. Now you started mid-January. So that's 2 weeks. Hello. Who's here? Come say hi in the chat. Okay. So another week comes to an end. A little bit later on, I will do exactly as I did weeks prior. So Three Rivers Homestead is having a pantry challenge, and every single week for a little bit while, probably a couple of lives now, I talk about the meals I'll be doing. I now have figured out how to use my GoPro, so I might be able to film during afternoon what I prepare for dinner. So we'll see. It is month January is finished now. A lot of people stopped doing the pantry challenge, but I'm still doing it. Obviously, I'm not self-sufficient on everything, but I do try on every meal that I make for all of us, or even if during my lunchtime, to use at least stuff that we have either frozen, dehydrated, or canned. So I'll talk about that a little bit later on. Marilyn stepped away for a little while. So for people watching this on replay, so the No Borders Homestead podcast is now up. So the first episode is recorded and is available on the YouTube channel. Remy, if you're still here, can you put the link to the episode number 1? Also, episode number 2 was recorded and should be coming out very soon. And I haven't gotten the email for episode number 3, but I think we'll be filming that this week. So the first episode was getting to know us. I think we're 7 or 8 homesteaders, YouTubers that are between 6 and 8, depending the weeks, that are on. We talk about different things. Certain questions are asked, but the first one that is up is the presentation of who we are. The second one is injury on the homestead, and there's also like side subject, but I had to slip away about half an hour within the first part of it because I had a course. So I'm not entirely sure what was the full podcast, how it went, and how was the after show on Patreon. So I'm going to have to find out all of that. So that will be up. Episode number 2 will be up very soon. What else? I did work on my gardening plan. I've been talking about it since mid-January. I'm almost done. So what do I have left? So most of my vegetables are done. I am missing, I have to make a list of what I need to order. So there is like a couple of Haskaps I need to order and a couple of, it's not mulberry, it's, what's it called? Currants. So pink currants and white currants. So I have to do that. And I also want, it's called evergreen also. So I want these 3 things. So I haven't really done that. And there is one list that, well, I'm not sure if the 4 people that are here, if they do stratify their seeds, but I was going to ask if anyone stratify their seeds and if they have like from the top of their heads like 10 seeds that they stratify and they have better germination, because I had so much issues with, I tried lavender last year, blue vervain, decorative garlic, those big bulbs of allium, and none of them worked. So I did have a couple of lavender because I ended up resowing, and I had poor germination. But I want to try stratifying this year. So if you're watching this on replay or you're here and you have like on top of your head a couple of seeds that you stratify, let me know. So I have that to resolve. So my herbs, I think they're almost done. And this is like super practical because I am literally using the plan I made last year. So I think 3 years ago, I used my seed packs and I wrote dates on them. And like this one has March 30. So I took out all of my herbs, all of my flowers in the year that I wrote all of that, and I still have seeds. My date's already figured out, so I just put that in my my sewing pocket under the date. Like for example, this one is 30th of March, so I'll just put that in my sewing calendar for that date, and it saved me so much time. So I'm thinking maybe converting, instead of having a paper version, like literally having a in my computer that I just print out every year and just add certain things, because it saved me I probably like an hour, because most of the work was already done. I just verified there were certain ones I wasn't sure because I turned the packet, and in the back of the packet there was a different date, so I was just like, I just searched. So I would say 3/4 of my herbs are done, because there's some I'm not sure if I'm going to grow this year. Like I have tarragon, but last year I grew it, but I forgot to harvest it and it died. And then cumin, I have a hard time with it. Doesn't pop up. Turmeric, I don't know if I'll be doing. Ginger, I don't know if I'll be doing. I did start one seed this year. So I had one to start on January 26th. And I think ginger, I'm a little bit late, and turmeric as well. So this week I'm going to go to the grocery store. And if I decide to grow it, I'll have to get some little tubers. But can anyone guess what this is? I need to change the water today. But does anyone know what this is? Yes, sweet potato. So I have an organic sweet potato, and I'm not sure what this one is, but I just love the color. And I was like, this should be interesting to try to see if I can get it to grow. So who's here? That's what happened when you potty like an animal. You don't stratify seeds, although I should. So I think I'm going to try lavender this year. And there's lupin, I think. Is it lupin? Or it's that one you have to soak and cracked slightly the seed. I have to look. I'm doing stratification, but for flowers. Okay, well, if you don't mind messaging me a couple of the flowers that you stratify. I know you have multiple things that you grow as flowers, but I would be curious to know what flowers you stratify. Hello, Karen. Did you find a solution for your glasses? Yeah, I feel like I'm an old soul. I'm a paper type of girl. Like, every week, I try to organize myself with stuff on my computer. And I always find myself back on a piece of paper. But if I would do what I did, and like the template I'm using, like I go in section like root vegetables, and then I go to leafy greens, and then I go to cabbage, and I could somewhat make it work into a computer version and then write the names of the variety that I want. So I want to write the varieties of everything that I grow for a couple of reasons. One, I journal the varieties. So let's just say there's just lavender. Some lavender will do better here. Some tomatoes will do better here. So there is one tomato that someone mentioned, oh my God, I can't live without this tomato. And I tried it and it doesn't work. And I gave it 3 years here. And even though with everything, all the tips and tricks, I still don't like it. So that's why I try to write down as much as I can the varieties of what I grow and when I sow them. And if I try something new, sowing wise or during the season, I try to journal it to keep somewhat an eye on my growing season. But last year, it was the first time I didn't do it. I did not tabulate anything. Like, it's still fresh because of the YouTube channel. Like, I know about all the troubles I had, all the pests that I had, like it's still there. But I did not write all the varieties that I was growing. And I didn't do an end of the season tablet. Like, there's certain things I'm not growing in, like celery. I'm not growing it for the plant. I'm growing it as a companion. And if I can harvest it when it's little, I will. But I will not grow celery for the purpose of like having 24 heads of celery, because I just can't make it happen. So I'm kind of going in, what season is this? So my first gardening season was in 2018. So 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 20. So I'm starting my 7th year. So I'm not going in blind completely. I still have the 6 years behind me. But I find that I kind of feel more confident, and I'm not too scared that I didn't journal that much. I won't starve because I don't have an inventory. I'm sorry. I just choked. Yes, it is sweet potato. I'm sorry. Well, some people don't know what it is, so. I normally do this way, but I did have like 2 that it's like shriveled up that I got in my basket. I might try to bury it in the soil to see if it's going to do anything. Red sweet potato, but they're less sweet. I don't know. I haven't opened them. I bought 2 at the store, so there is 2 possibilities. One, it's sprayed, and I'm not sure if it's organic or not. So if it's sprayed, it will not probably create little shoots. But the other one came with my Loofah Farm bin, and they're certified organic. So I am hoping that at least that the regular ones all have shoots out of it. I'm growing them in grow bags, if my memory's correct. And there is a recipe I want to try. It's roasted, stuffed sweet potato. I saw a couple of recipes and I was like, that'd be nice. I don't think I'll be growing potatoes this year. I've tried. It doesn't work. And there's one thing I don't like is that once you've grown potatoes in a garden bed, that soil is depleted for a couple, like at least 2 years. So I don't have the privilege of opening a new garden bed every year. If I had that space, I would do it. I would dedicate 100 feet. I would buy a 50-pound bag probably of seed potatoes and cut every single eye that's on it and just grow as much potatoes. And I would cover it with probably, I think it's vermiculite, mix all of that with a lot of compost and use the method with hay and then water it and just let them do their thing, hill it once or twice. But I don't have access to that. So I think I'm just going to go buy what I did last year. I bought 2 50-pound bags of potatoes and I just canned them. And when they go on special, I found a couple of deals on red potatoes with white skin and the Yukon Gold that we really enjoy. I have better luck laying the sweet potatoes. Okay, I guess I'll have to try that. So you mean like at the pharmacy? Okay, so rule of thumb, the perennial that grows normally in cold climate, I do stratification. So rosemary, lavender. No, wait, flowers. I would have to check that out. Ooh, homemade apple pie, with ice cream. Oh, speaking of ice cream, so I have a Nutrimil, which is like a Bosch multi-purpose machine. I've shared a couple of times. I do my big bread doughs in there. And when I bought the Bosch, it came with a ice cream maker. So tonight, for the first time in I think I had that thing in the box right now almost 2 years, I took it out and I tried making ice cream. Okay, so the recipe says 1 cup of full milk, which is 3-point-something%, and then heavy cream. I didn't have that, and they call for rock salt. I only had kosher salt. So after 20 minutes of churning, I think that's how it's called, I had like a liquidy consistent ice cream, and the kids said, it tastes really nice. So the leftovers were put in the freezer. So now, after the live, I'll taste my first ever ice cream. So too bad I don't have a warm apple pie with me. That would be delicious. Go take care. Well, early on when I started my homesteading journey, let me try to think. As far as I can remember, I've always been a note-taking person. I always took notes. So let's just say there was an exam. I took notes from the teacher that would write on the board, or let's just say there was a piece of paper that was delivered to us, photocopy, and I would highlight everything I needed to learn. And then I would take another piece of paper and I would create notes exclusively of the stuff that I needed to learn by heart. So all my life, as long as I can remember, I've always been taking notes, and Marilyn starting to know me a little bit better. I'm a person that's going to follow the instructions one after the other without going sideways. So I think part of me when I started, not knowing what I was doing, because obviously I do not come from an agriculture or homesteading or farmer or chickens or anything background. So I went online and studied like a maniac. I took notes, and it carried over on so many levels. And then I can't remember if it's in a training or if it's in a webinar or a YouTuber that said that she was journaling everything she was doing. I know Roots and Refuge Farm uses her channel, well, a couple of years back, as her journal. She would go back on certain videos, and that was her piece of paper. So at least she had that. But I've always been like that. I always keep records, because let's just say there's one year, oh my God, I really enjoyed this variety. What was it? Last year, the seeds were back order and I want new seeds. And then I have records of it. Yeah, I told my husband to tap the trees, but he doesn't believe me. So you just recently tapped your trees, right? Anyone growing sweet potato slips with soil in milk carton placed on a flat surface? Nope. I don't have milk cartons, but I did see someone in a tub, a very shallow tub, and they just buried on the side a sweet potato. I can't remember who. I'm trying to remember. By the way, hi Jane. Okay. Well, at least you can see. You know, it's important to be able to see. So ginger, that's how I plant it. I use a very shallow 10 by 20 tray. The regular one. I put a thin layer of soil, maybe like an inch or two, and then I put the ginger and then bury it. And I also did that with turmeric one year. I'm going to sneeze. I'm so sorry. Sorry about that. Your machine is not made to be put in the freezer. No, I don't. Your machine is not. I didn't put the machine in the freezer. No, it just says to mix the cream in the milk with sugar, and I did maple extract, and I mixed everything, and then it says to put it in the machine, and then to surround the machine with ice and then rock salt, and to churn it for 20 minutes. And I was on the actual website, and this is something I'm not going to say it off, because inside the box there's no manual, there's no recipe, so you have to go online to go find it. But there is no notes of putting the machine thing in the freezer. So it was not even solid, it was liquid. Yes. Well, I mean, after this live, it's in the freezer. That's right there. That's what I'm having. We have the ice cream maker for the KitchenAid mixer. So I have the Nutrimil, which is the Bosch version. Like Annie is describing, I use the flat deli container, about an inch of soil, and okay. But I can go get the ice cream now and show you what it looks like. Should I do that and do a taste test live? Should I do that? Okay, well, it's not the whole machine, but the bowl where the ice cream is made. You know? Okay, let me go get it. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, so live, I'm going to see if it was an epic mess or if I made ice cream. Okay. So this is what it looks like. Woohoo! So this was done, put in the freezer at 650. Oh, well, okay, so it's not completely frozen. Okay, so it still needs to be frozen, but ooh. It probably needs another at least 2 hours. Oh, this is good. So I don't know if you can see, there's like little chunks inside. That's dark chocolate. So, okay. So if you haven't tried making ice cream, 1 cup of milk, 1 cup of heavy cream, half a cup of sugar, and I did a vanilla extract. I'm gonna go put it back in the freezer so that I can have the full ice cream moment. Stir it up. Really? Really? Okay, so I'm gonna stir it up. Okay, so I can't like disappoint my kids eating it all. Okay, so I mixed it. Oh, So I'll be right back again. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so that was good. Definitely, I will try. So tonight, that was the recipe, what it said. I did not have heavy cream, so I used coffee cream, which is 10%. Instead, I think heavy cream is 30-something%. So I'm going to check online different things because technically it's supposed to be soft ice cream after being churned. So I'm going to look online, see what I've done wrong, if I was supposed to put more ice, and definitely I will take out that machine because it only took 2 minutes to prepare and then 20 minutes in there. Will it get 2 hours? It has to get 2 hours more because my kids know there's some left. Yes, it is a small batch. It will freeze a bit softer so you don't end up. Oh, thanks. Oh, I didn't think of that. Now I'm intrigued. So, like vodka? Your message is empty. Are you trying? Is YouTube acting up? Oh, Bailey's. Oh, yeah. I don't have Bailey's at home. Sounds delicious. Okay, so before I forget, this week's meal. Anyone is still doing the Three Rivers Pantry Homestead Three Rivers Homestead Pantry Challenge? Is anyone still doing it? So tonight, I didn't bring out all the jars, but I'll mention everything that's in a jar or if it's frozen. So tonight, I wanted to do a cilantro and lime chicken. So I took out 3 What's sortilège? I've heard of that. So I took out 3 chicken thigh. Ooh, limoncello. Num, num, num. um, so I took out 3 thighs of chicken, thawed them, and those are from the chickens we raised here and harvest here. So the cilantro and lime was from the store, but the corn is corn I have canned. The beans is beans I have canned. The broth is our broth. Garlic and onions, is all from the garden. And then salt, pepper, I have paprika. So that's pretty much like the meal of tonight. And this will carry over for me for probably like 2-3 lunches during the week and maybe one more dinner, so leftover for this week. And I've been craving steak, potatoes, and green beans. And I was trying to fit in there hamburger, but it's going to go probably the week after. Because I remember Dave last week or mentioned about hamburgers, and I was like, So this weekend we had hamburger steak. That was awesome, but like sauteed mushrooms, and I took out some of my onion jam with smashed potatoes. It was lovely. So that was Saturday. But anyways, so I really want to try beef steak. I think I also have moose. I don't know which one I'll use. So that's in the freezer. The green beans are beans I canned, and the potatoes is either the ones I canned, or I'm going to see if I have any red small potatoes. Friday is going to be pizza night. It's always pizza night. Well, I would say 99% of the time, pizza night on Friday. So I no longer have right here behind me my salad every week I used to show you. I've changed up a little bit the floor plan downstairs over the weekend. So I officially now will be harvesting my lettuce this week that I've grown in my let pot. So I have a hydroponic station that I started, I think 3 weeks ago. And I will probably be harvesting at least one full meal out of that, or like 2-3 salads. So we'll be having a leftover meat or protein that we have during the week. If not, it's just going to be veggies, and I have some avocados that I can throw in there. So there's going to be like a big salad going on this week. I want to find a recipe where I can use up veggie broth, and I have squash from the garden, onion, garlic, and I will just pass every single vegetable that needs to be processed. I do have like carrots that I have from my loofah farm bin, so I'm gonna do like a veggie, probably a roasted veggie soup. And then if there is not too much left over, I have a meal that we love doing. It's Chinese macaroni chinois. How would I call that in English? So it's macaroni pasta with some hamburger meat, either pork. It could be any type of hamburger meat. And then I put soy sauce, garlic, and then every single frozen vegetables that we have. So it's going to be celery, pepper, zucchini, like everything that we have frozen. I'm going to take out, saute it, and add it. Remove obviously the liquid. When you froze vegetables and you saute it, there's going to be a little bit of more liquid than usual. So I remove that liquid, put it aside, and then once I mix everything together, instead of using the liquid from my pasta, the pasta water, I use a little bit of pasta water and a bit of that like kind of broth of everything I'm cooking, and leftover meal. So that's pretty much my week. I am officially out of, I think I have one portion of celery frozen. I'm towards squash soup. So the veggie soup that I want to do is I want to use either butternut that I have or Fuji, Futsi squash that I have here that I grew. So I'm going to roast that, added to the veggie broth with probably roasted garlic and roasted onions, and just going to go through whatever I have of fresh vegetables. I think I have turnip that needs to be processed, and I'll just like throw in salt, pepper, thyme, rosemary, and like do either like a soup or like a thicker soup. I don't know. So usually when I do those leftover soups, it's like never the same. I just try to create a meal, and I want to try to use that veggie broth that I did. So the veggie broth is something I canned, and it's really special to me, this one, because I canned it with leftover vegetables that I had. So when I processed I bought some asparagus. The tip of the asparagus, I kept it and froze it. And then as I was processing my onions, I kept the skins of the onion, put it aside. And then I had a couple of vegetables like that. So it's like pretty much vegetable scraps. And I created a broth instead of using up like good carrots, good turnips that I could actually do full recipes with it. I used vegetable scraps. So I'm really looking forward to try something. Instead of using bone broth, I want to try it with this veggie broth. I do have a lot of frozen vegetables also I could probably add in there. Like I know I have zucchini. I've frozen a lot of zucchini. We've put one of my freezers on the deck, and I somewhat forgot to bring in the vegetables that are in there. So once it gets a little bit cooler, I'm going to go outside. I'm going to bring it back inside. I know I have peppers for like tacos, and I have cucumbers that's frozen I tried a strawberry cucumber mint smoothie. I don't know if you call it smoothie or drink, and it was delicious. So I need to bring all of that inside so I pass it so I don't lose it. You made 4 liters of 70% moonshine, and it will have maple product. Ooh! And we'll have maple products this week. You have given nice. Sure, remember, Dave, normally they put maple flavor in the liqueur. Okay, okay, that's not for me. Can the maple syrup be added after the... Okay, that's not for me. I uprooted my celery last fall, cut back, and now have 4 of 5 stock at the top. Okay, so you left the main plant there. The plants. I'm not sure I understand the last part. The plants, us frowning in my bay window? Maybe, Karen, I'm not sure. I'm not used to hard alcohol, but I know that when we bottle beer, we add sugar to make the bubbles. I have no idea. I haven't. She kept the base and it. Oh, okay. So same thing as the green onions. Okay, now that's cool. So you're get more out of your celery. So I've never been able to take a organic celery or a homegrown celery I've done, cut it down. I never got it to regrow. Maybe I was watering it too much. I did have lettuce, and I did regrow green onions. There is one thing I do when I harvest my green onions in the spring and in the fall. I don't dig them out. I chop them and they just regrow. And then when that little fly bores into my onions, I just cut it. I cut the damage and I let them regrow, and I have like 2-3 harvest of that same onion bulb. So instead of sowing 4-time green onions, I think I sow only 2 times. I'm doing the same with romaine lettuce. Just a dish of water. Nice. Okay, so I just want to make sure that I went over everything I wanted to talk to you about. Oh, I forgot to say one update. So this week, I've mentioned this a couple of times during my life. So I went back to school in September from home. It's an online course. I did a couple of courses. Right now, I am on the verge of completing one. So I had the requirement of performing 2 Reiki treatments, 2 aroma Reiki treatments. One was for my husband and one was on my daughter. And now, since I've performed those treatments, those full treatments, I am able to take my exam this week. So this week I will be revising all that I have learned, and I might have successfully have my aroma Reiki diploma this week. And my other course, it's the regular Reiki level 3. I'm about 3/4 of the way. I'm not sure if I'm going to complete it before my peak season or if I'm just going to revise everything during the summer, practice, and then at the end of the season, take the course and then see from there where I'll go. Yeah. So this is fun. My daughter really, really enjoys this. I normally give her treatment almost every 2 weeks. My son, Philip, tonight, he's like, "Nah, can I have a treatment, please?" But my table now is closed. So my massage table usually is always open. And now that we moved everything around, sadly, I don't have space for it to keep it always open. So, and I had live tonight. So maybe another day during the week, I will do one of those to my son. It seems to have positive effect on them. My daughter said she slept like a little baby that night, and it was so fun. I took a picture of her. So we have 2 dogs. One is Theo, which is a little mini Yorkshire, and he is cold during the winter, and he loves to be cuddled. And I have Luna, which is the husky mix that I've shown a couple of times. Big dog. I was performing the treatment, and little Theo wanted attention, and he was like jumping on me, and he was whining, and I was trying to tell him to behave and to go in his little bed, but this little dude wanted attention, and I just grabbed him and I put him next to my daughter, and he cuddled up and she just put him under the blankets, and he just fell asleep there. So Emilia had a zootherapy mixed with Reiki treatment. It was adorable. Like, Theo was in heaven. He was getting belly rubs and warmth and attention, and Emilia was getting a treatment. It was so cute. So I had my neighbor's dog that was not feeling so great, and I tried. Like, I'm not really too familiar with where everything is positioned in a dog internally, so I tried to help the dog. I'm not sure if I helped. Probably I did. I also tried to help Luna. She was very, very anxious, and it's different for them. From what I understand, from what I've learned, sidetrack Reiki, sorry. Karen is also a Reiki practitioner. So she was unsteady and she would turn around, like always around, and I would just leave my hands there and she would stop for like a couple of seconds and then move again, and then stop a couple of seconds and then move again. So I was just like letting her guide me where she needed my hands to be. But it didn't last long. So I don't know. Animal for now is not something I completely understand. Later out down the road, maybe we shall see. But for the aroma, so with essential oils, it's going to be probably this week or next week. So another diploma that I will be able to add to my list of diplomas of this year. Well, last year I started. I have three from last year, so this would be my fourth. So it loves water. Okay, so maybe I was not watering enough because it rot every single time. It either dried up or rot. Thank you. Yeah. I did have a couple of occasions where I saw someone that was not feeling so great. So during the holidays, I had my sister over and I had my niece over from GSBZ. And both of them were like, one of them was feeling sick, very anxious. And the other one, without knowing, she's 16 years old, without knowing, she was the day of her cycle starting. So young teens, their cycle, when they start, they go through, well, even us as adults, we go through like certain discomfort that we've learned to live with. And she had headache, her eyes were sensible to the light. She was sensible to too much noise. Her stomach was hurting. And like I tried to give her an herbal tea, it wasn't working. And I offered my sister and my niece like a small quick treatment. And both of them grabbed my arm. He's like, "Can we bring you back home?" Like it felt so good. So it always feels nice to experiment that. Sorry, I got sidetracked. Completely out of subject. I haven't done aroma Reiki. That would be great to add. I really should do something with mine. So I am not sure where I'm going to take this practice. Mainly, the reason why I did it, it was for myself. Because it gave me tools to work on myself in the darkest of moments. So I feel it came to me, like I speak to other practitioners, and the most common thing that they say is that they didn't go to Reiki. Reiki came to them. And that's how I felt. Like I was seeing someone talk to me about it. I didn't really know what it was. I did hear about it. One of my cousins does it, and it stopped there. And then for 1 year, I was seeing all these ads on different social media platforms. And I was like, what is this? And then one day I just decided to click on it. And I was pulled. Like I felt the need to read more. But then the fear of like, what if, and the what ifs like kept going and going and going and going. And then my husband's like, well, the course is not all that expensive. So if it can help you this much, well, you're this much better. And you're better off trying to do something than just sitting and being in that darkness. So it did help me tremendously. So sorry, got sidetracked. I'm very passionate about this. So I have a question for you guys to make you talk a little. So I had, and this is kind of a ongoing question I have. So this week I see comments of a lot of people, and it's been a couple of weeks. I go to the cash register every week. I mean, I go to the grocery store every week, and every time I reach like the time to pay, I look at my grocery, and in my mind, I go, okay, so this is about so what and so what. And then I go to Costco with my husband once every 3-4 months, and we have like this game of like who's closer to to what, and like who loses. We do something fun, like either you pay for coffee or I pay for coffee. But it's just funny because like we're couples. It kind of comes from the same place, but it's like the fun of like playing the game of who's right. So it got me thinking. So the prices of grocery, and well, not just groceries, but everything around you. If you're gardeners or homesteaders, is that having an impact on this year's plan for you? So if you only raise animal, is it having are you changing up certain things? If you're a gardener, are you changing certain things? Or if you're a homesteader, are you planning accordingly to what's going on with all those prices? And are you being careful not to let fear make decisions for you? So those like were the two main questions that I want to ask you. Just side note, Karen. So the aroma Reiki I did is from Andrea Frazier, and her cohort just closed. And I think she only does it once a year, end of November. True. That is so true. So there's certain things we cannot plan, but we can change the way that we buy it. So when butter goes on special, I just don't buy one, I buy 10. When cheese goes on special, like really good deal, I buy more. So if usually I buy 2 and it goes down cheap, I buy 4. So there's certain things you can do it's going to cost you more that week, but then it's worth it on the long run. So when I see pasta on special, I have to do pasta again. I know every time I am in the pasta aisle, I think of you, Marilyn. I'm like, I should really be doing my pasta for like 4 or 5 months. I have a new freezer now. I'm not sure if I mentioned this. I bought a new chest freezer for my beef because we've bought a quarter of a beef. And there's still space in it. Like I'm practically using maybe half of it. And I wanted to bring everything inside. So that's one of the projects that I'm doing over the next couple of weeks is I'm slowly reducing the inventory of the freezers because in the spring we empty them, thaw them, wash them, and then like the cycle starts. So every time I'm like, I have space, I should stop buying pasta because I have like Marilyn over my shoulder saying, you should do your own pasta. But when it goes on special, there is 1 or 2 brands that we buy. I buy like 5. And then the week after that, if it's still on special, I buy another 5. Talking about butter, I don't know why I did not do that before, but I bought in special pre-cut, I think 1/3 of a cup and froze it like that. So much easier. Sure. When I open a brick, it's okay. I didn't know this. So I caused a commotion when I said this when I went to my parents' house. So when I thaw butter, because I freeze mine, I thaw butter and the brick lasts me about 3 to 5 days. Depending, if I bake a lot, maybe 3 days. If I don't bake a lot, it's 5 days. So during the winter, my butter is on the counter, but it's between 15 degrees Celsius and 19 tops here. So, and where I leave it, it's in my pantry, and the pantry is not heated right now. There's no electrical heat in there. So it's just the airflow of the house that maintains maybe like 15 in there. So, the commotion I caused is my mom was like, you can't leave butter on the counter. I was like, oh my God, I didn't know that. I did not know I was not allowed to leave butter on the counter. And I caused a way of a commotion at my parents' house. And then the other commotion was like, you consume an entire brick of butter in a week. So I'm like, we're 5, first of all. Second of all, we go through 3 to 4 loaves of bread every week. When my husband comes back from work, he can eat 3 to 5 toasts, and then he puts butter and jam or butter and peanut butter. And it goes fast when you're 5 in your household. I did not know you can cause trouble with butter. But if I was living on my own or just me and friend, I would definitely freeze it in quarter, not third, because mainly the recipe I use is either 1/4 cup, half a cup, or a cup. I've never had a recipe that was a third of cup of butter. I don't think so. But it's a great idea. I stopped doing my pasta. It's really time consuming and did not find the way to do it. Okay, so you were drying it, right? Or you were freezing it? I can't remember. What were you doing with your pasta? I plan on changing some of my plants I grow, more beans and carrots. You mean green beans? Or like black beans, kidney beans? I'm considering rabbits. We will be hatching our first batch of Canadian. Ooh, nice. Thank you. Oh, wait, Jane. So, Jane, you switched account? Jane W? Okay, so just to make sure, you don't write the name the same. Oh, hello. Okay, so my butter lasts months in the fridge. Okay, so during the summer when it's 30 degrees Celsius, that's another contradiction. Like when I say this, people call me crazy. I don't like air conditioning. I hate air conditioning with a freaking passion because we don't have air conditioning central here. So we have to put the ones in the windows. And I feel like I have an airplane running, like ongoing 24/7. And it just drives me completely mad. Like the back noise, it's not white noise, it's just aggravation noise. So during the summer, since when my husband's not home, I don't plug the air conditioning. I put the butter in the fridge because then it melts. But during the colder months, it's on the pantry shelf. I grow stuff to be self-sufficient, but stock up on things I can't make. Coffee, butter, sugar, olive oil, etc. Yeah. So in Canada, we have every 3 months family allowance. I'm not entirely sure how we call it, but I would like to redo my budget. I think one of my friends does this. Redo my budget to allocate part of it to if butter's on special, like when we get it like either the first or the third of every month, every 3 months. And let's just say I look the week that I plan having it butters on special. Well, then I would take that a certain amount of it and I would allocate it to that. If not, I'm at Costco. Coffee is something that we need. Sugar is something that we need. Flour is something that we need. And I would love, this is something like down the road, I would really, really love to allocate a certain amount every 3 months to stocking up on stuff that I can't grow. There will always be something I will not be able to grow. This year I'm trying to figure out, like, without losing my mind, the right numbers of everything. So I have accepted that there's certain things I will not be able to have this year because my daughter needs procedures done in her mouth and we do not know how much it would cost because we're still waiting on the insurance to let us know. So the procedures are quite pricey if the insurance can't cover it. So I have accepted the fact that there are some equipment that I needed to make my life easier this year. And I found alternatives to, it's going to be like hard because the alternative is to buy or find used certain things free as cheap as possible. It's like time consuming because we're going to have to probably in the month of March, April, May to be on Facebook Marketplace on a daily basis to find the things used that we need. And we'll probably have to do exactly like we did 7 years ago when we started redneck style of the things that I need to upgrade this year, because I needed to convert my tunnel into a, what do you call those? Like vine borer safe and cucumber beetle safe. And I wanted to build a second tunnel next to mine, but not closed up. So only the top would have the plastic, and I would put gutters on the side and just use the water gravity for it to water from the soil. It was something I wanted to do this year, buy a used tempo structure and do that. That is now on ice. There's many things that we wanted to do this year, but I've accepted that I need to invest in things that are more important at the moment. It's my daughter's mouth. She has teeth that are pushing, short story. So the teeth, her adult teeth, when she will lose the baby teeth, they're pushing other teeth. So she needs to get 2 teeth removed, and her top part of her mouth needs to be spaced because she doesn't have enough space. Like up here. Down here, they're waiting that she turns 16, which is in 5 years. My poor heart. She's going to be 12 this year. She's growing so fast. So until we have like more details about the procedures and the insurance, there's many things that we've decided to put aside and go back to the original way that we've done stuff and just redneck it and learn from all of it again. So we did want to do a seed starting station, like a greenhouse with upcycling material. I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but at least we'll start building it. And as soon as we find, there's 2 types of windows we're looking for. And if I have a seed starting greenhouse, I think I'm going to do the happy dance and film it and show it to you guys. But if I don't have it, I'm okay. So I've accepted certain things last year that when you push too much, it becomes an obsession and you create more chaos in your life and more frustration. So I'm embracing that this year is going to be different, but I'm going to make it work. So self-sufficiency is not something I'm now as like an objective. My objective is to grow food to an extent that is I can do. So there's certain things that I will stop growing and just try to find local place that I can buy in bulk, or see if there is different options this year. Or if I don't find options this year, there is also like the grocery store. It's not, I don't know their farming practices, but I'll figure out growers around here that has similar objective that I do and see if they can sell in bulk. But for this year, I'm more going with, what do I need to can? Last year, buying tomatoes was $2 a pound for Roma type tomatoes, which was beyond ridiculous. $2 a pound. That's $40 a case for 20 pounds. So a case is 20 pounds. Or 25 pounds? No, it's 20 pounds. So that's $40 for 20 pounds. It takes 6 pounds to do 1 liter of sauce. So with that $40, you're going to do maybe 3-4 liters of sauce. You might as well buy the organic sauce at Costco per case when you think of it. Because people buy 1 or 2 cases of tomatoes, they'll be able to do salsas and all that. But if you buy tomatoes to make sauce, it takes an average of 6 pounds of Roma type tomatoes to make 1 liter of sauce. So if you want to do 60 liters of sauce, that's a lot, money-wise. So, I'm like, there's one row that I might sacrifice to grow either more cucumbers or grow 1 more row of tomatoes. So I'm still waiting on the March inventory that I do. So just before I plant my tomatoes, I go through my inventory of jars and I analyze how much I have left of everything. And I think this year I did 30 liters or 25 liters of sauce. And I think I have 9 left because I did 1 big batch of spaghetti sauce this year. So I think 25 to 30 liters of tomato sauce is like a somewhat okay number. But if it takes 6 pounds to do 1 liter, let me see if I can work up that brain. I'm like Remy tonight. I'm tired. So I want to do 30 liters. So it takes... I had that calculation done the other day. Now my brain's mush. Is it 180 pounds to do 30 liters? So 180 pounds divided. Yeah. So 180 pounds-ish to do 30 liters of sauce at $2 a pound. I'm just going to leave it like that. So last year, I bought second quality tomatoes that I just needed to remove bumps and bruises. And some were bigger, some were smaller. So it was like going into my gardens and having blemishes, and some are big, some are small. So they were not able to sell them to the store. And I think they were 50 cents a pound. I think it was $10. No. I think it was $10 a crate. Something like that. So definitely to keep answering that question, what will I be doing differently this year? Second quality vegetables. I have a couple of farms, couple of posts from last year that I kept to make sure that I visit that farm if I have to next year. Green beans here are finished so early. Still time for tomatoes. Freezing them take a lot of space. Not much. When you eat pasta, we eat. Yes. So I did a video 2 weeks ago where I canned spaghetti sauce. And I caught myself saying, I love carbs or something like that. I really love pasta, potatoes, and bread. I love carbs. Like, you cannot cut carbs in like my life. I love pasta. So if I have to choose to have less meals with carbs, fine. That's what I'll do. But you cannot ask me to cut 100% of carbs. Like, even rice, I love rice. So like, example, tonight, instead of having 2 servings of rice, I took 1 serving of rice, and then I went back and I just had like one small scoop so that I can somewhat feel great about that decision. But I can't cut carbs. Wait, Jane? I didn't recognize you. I'm so sorry. I did not connect the dots. Now I feel so bad. I'm so sorry, Jane. Now I will know. Both type of bean. I'm excited about October beans. They can be eaten as green. Oh, nice. I used to grow my black turtle beans and my kidney beans, but I stopped. I don't think I'll be doing it. I don't think I'll be doing black beans this year because I can 26 pints. I slightly overcommit when I bought a 10-pound bags of turtle beans, and then I canned 3 pounds, and then I had 7 pounds left, and it gave me, I think it's 23 or 26 pints of beans. So I'm good. I'm good for at least a year, at least. So when I buy beans, I buy the 10-pound bags of kidney beans. Super C has often deals, and when they do, I buy at least one because now with one of my new little toys that I got, I made myself a little gift. I will be able to vacuum seal beans. So if you've missed that, this week's video, I share a new little machine that I'm really looking forward to see how far I can push it. So it's a vacuum sealer for mason jars. Like, I don't think you can even start to understand how excited I was. So I wanted to vacuum seal in Maillard bags. But then I would have to buy Maillard bags and then the oxygen absorber, and then I don't have a hair iron. I know I'm a girl. I have a hair dryer, but I think I use it like 5 times a year. And like you need like either like a special machine or a hair iron to seal up the bags. And I have so many mason jars. It's actually ridiculous how much mason jar I have. I have a rolling inventory, so I probably have like between 500 jars and like 700-ish, maybe a little bit more. I've never counted, but I know one year I canned over 700 jars of food. But it's like a rolling inventory. So tonight I used up 3 jars. The night before I used up 3 jars again. And I probably use 10 to 20 jars every week. So I fill them up, I empty them out. So this summer was once in ever since I started canning, the first time I came really close to using up all my 1 liter jars. But now I have 6 cases that are empty. So during the winter months, I'm not using my jars. So I used up a couple of wide mouth mason jar and I sealed up super cool stuff, and I'm not done. I'm going to seal up a couple of stuff so that my little friends, we have a little mouse in the house this year. I haven't seen mouse in probably, my neighbor got a cat 3 years ago. The first year the cat was here, we had mouse in the house. And little buggers kept eating my seedlings. I was so mad. The first year I grew peppers, little ate my entire rack of peppers. I was so mad. It took 3 weeks for the peppers to germinate, and that little ate them all. Like just chopped nib off the top of the pepper plant. And then the year after that, the population was going down. And then my neighbor got the cat. The first year she got the cat, the population, like we only had like small incidents here and there. We did hear some in the walls, so we put some traps. And the year after, we had 0. And then last winter also 0. And then it's the first year. I opened my flower bag and I was like, what the? There was like flour everywhere, and there was like a hole about this big. So my heart was like, oh my god, my bread flour. I had to throw away bread flour. So I was really, really, really aggravated. So I kind of declared war to those little critters. So I have temporary fixer-uppers, but they cannot go through a mason jar. I don't know if they can go through a Maillard bag, but I know they cannot go through glass unless they have superpowers. I hate AC. Always have some kind of cold. Yeah, when I was at my parents, I would call it like not air conditioning. I called it air freezer because it was like, I'm going to exaggerate, but it was 30 degrees to 40 degrees outside. I was in shorts. I was in t-shirts. It was warm. And then I would get in my house and I would have to get dressed as if it was like minus 20 degrees. And then you would walk outside and go like, ugh. And then you would stay inside because like you always like cool. And I find that when you go cold, warm, cold, warm, cold, warm all the time, it's like I would get colds. I used to work in a hotel like many moons back, and I was working on the terrace, which was poolside. I would go from 40 degrees Celsius, and then I would go inside the hotel. Hotels maintain their hall around 18 degrees Celsius. So I would go from 40 to 18, and then I would have to go get ice in the freezers, and the freezers were -5. And in the like hot of summer, I had a bronchitis, and I had something else after. I had like the worst viruses because like of the temperature variation, and I hate the noise. I hate the smell. I hate the smell. So if we had an air purifier in the house, maybe it would be better. But like our house is so old, it was not like our condo had a air purifier included with the air conditioning. And our house that we had after the condo that we were renting had a AC and also had a filter in it. But those window ACs, they don't have filtration systems. So maybe I should look into adding that into our house. We have an extra dog this year. It's Luna's second summer, and she's starting to shed. Oh my god. I find Luna's hair everywhere. So I drink a cup of coffee, freshly made cup of coffee. I put it down, turn around, turn back around, start drinking. I was like, what the? Luna's hair. And then I make myself breakfast. I do breakfast, put yogurt, I put some frozen fruits, some da-da-da-da. There's nothing. I turn around, take my spoon, dig in. Luna's hair is there. And when she goes like this, and she decides that she wiggles her hair and her fur and her head and her butt, there's this thing going on, and I have to vacuum almost every single day. So I have to find a better brush because the brush I have doesn't deep remove her hair. So I have to invest. I used to keep a window AC and the furnace fan. It kept the whole house cool. Nice. Okay, so what item? Maybe a viewer will randomly gift or sell. I mentioned two things. So I'm trying to remember what I was saying 20 minutes ago. Jane, remind me, please. It is 34 Celsius here in the summer and 90. Yeah. Well, I don't have 95% humidex, but I probably close, because last summer was not so bad. We had high temperatures. but there's a couple of years back that we had one full week of 40 plus, and then plus humidex. Like, it was, I could not even be outside. I remember there was like a week I had to work very early in the morning and then late at night because it was not even bearable to. Oh, wait. I think I remember. So you mean gardening tools? So the gardening tools that I was looking for is row covers, and well, material to do my greenhouse, my seedling greenhouse, and like little tools here and there to make my life easier. So I think that's what you meant. Yeah, it's called a spacer. That's what she's gonna get in her mouth, and I'm gonna be the one for the first month that's gonna adjust the spacer. Not looking forward to that. I've been thinking of what I need to plant this year. I can cut back on some tomato products, but I will still probably put. Yeah. So my brain was not that much. Okay, so I'm almost half an hour behind comments. Let me catch up. I must go collect sap. Good night. You're probably gone, Dave, but I hope you have a good night. Yes, spaghetti squash is low carbs, but I cannot get my family to eat it. I love roasting spaghetti squash and then put olive oil, salt, pepper, loads of garlic powder and onion powder, and then just put like a meatless sauce on it. But I seem to be the only one that enjoy this. So unless I can find seeds of like a smaller spaghetti squash, like instead of being this big, like this big, there's like mini acorns. So maybe there is a spaghetti squash that exists that's small. Speaking of gnocchi, I saw something and now I'm reminded. I saw someone that was doing pumpkin puree, flour, salt, and they were creating pasta with it. And they were doing a butter and rosemary sauce. Like, I can almost taste it and smell. Was it rosemary or sage? No, it's butter and sage. I can almost taste it the way she was describing it. No one enjoys gnocchi here. I'm the only one that enjoys gnocchi. Nope, not that I don't like it. I can eat it if it's in front of me, but we grew them, and each time we pass by them, it was meh. Nope, real pasta it is. Okay, wait. Oh, well, spaghetti squash is an acquired taste. I find there is one way that I was able to make everyone eat it is I sliced them up in like discs and I roasted them, and they seem to enjoy it better. So I put the two ring in their plates, and I just let them play around with it. And I put the bowl of sauce on the table, and I made them play with their food. Pretty much that's what I did. And they somewhat ate it, but they prefer pasta. But they don't have weight to worry about like we do. But my mom loves pasta, potatoes, and bread. So I kind of have that gene, so I'm sure my son, Philip, oh my God, when I do mashed potatoes, he almost licks it. Like the bowl I make the mashed potato, he almost licks it. And he has no shame. He's like, I love potatoes. So I try to like squish in when I do potatoes, squash, without them knowing, turnip, and sweet potatoes. When I do that, I make sure that my husband is not watching because he does not like sweet potatoes and he does not enjoy squash. And I'm dedicating 2 raised bed gardens to pumpkins in squash this year. Not sure he's gonna like me. Not sure. We tend that I have them in my guest room. I should have. Yes, you should. You should. A used portable garage was one of those things. What are you talking about? Oh, nice. So that video I watched was probably from you. Is there an egg in there? No, I don't think it was an egg. No, you didn't do a butter sage sauce. You were just doing the pumpkin puree gnocchis. Mom, my brain is mush. I'm trying to think. Well, I don't do butter and rosemary sage sauce. Okay, so it was another video. A used portable garage was one of those things you were talking about wanting to pick up. I did? No, I wanted a, not a portable garage. It's a tempo structure. Yeah, it's, for us in Quebec, it's called a tempo structure. I think there's multiple ways, but here it's called a tempo because it's like the name like frigidaire. That's an actual name of a fridge, but it's tempo is actually the name brand of one of them. So it's I want to convert a structure of a portable garage into a tunnel. Yeah, something like a shelter logic, but I don't know if the city will complain. But it's like for my peppers, my loofahs, my roselle. I would love this year to grow roselle. Like those beautiful, yeah, I know, it's a portable garage. Please bear with me. Okay, so today I was smacked in the face by a dog. So Luna's brother lives nearby. And she was telling me that she was having a hard time with him. So I was trying to see what type of temperament he was having. And I've asked him, so he's English. I trained Luna in French. So I tried to make him sit, move him around. And he was all over the place. And then I leaned forward to turn him so that his butt would be the other direction. And the dog just went like this, like bam, and like hit me. I don't know if you guys can pick it up, but like I'm super swollen here and it's starting to be black. So we were able to do a couple of a couple of lay down and give paw. And he was somewhat starting to calm down and I was kind of having his attention. And I had like a moment of distraction because her baby was right next to the dog. So I just wanted to make sure that his tail or his butt was not going to whack the baby. And I just had that fraction of a second. And his entire top of his skull just smacked in my eye. I was I keep asking that question to myself. Is there going to be a week where I don't hurt myself? But this, I think it's purple. Like you can see the bump and it started to be purple. I wanted to help her out, but I don't think I have the qualification for a very hyperactive dog. So I'm going to leave that to professionals. I am able to control Luna, and they're related. They're from the same litter, but their temperament is so different. So maybe when he's going to get his operation, He's a male, so maybe when they go operate him, maybe he's gonna calm down. Maybe like he has a tendency of like headbutting everything. So maybe then we'll see. I don't know if I made more damage. Well, it couldn't hurt because like I was making exercises with him too. So dogs like Luna, it's a husky mixed with a German shepherd and another type of shepherd properly. So those dogs are like, they need to be physically drained, mentally drained, but like they need to. I don't want to sound this. I don't want to make this sound weird, but they need the like sensible wise. So they need to chew on stuff. They need to pull on stuff. So that means when I play with her, do I have one of her toys? So let's just say this is one of her toys. Oh, Harrigan. So she grabs the toy here and she pulls. So by working with her mouth, she's stimulated, and it's kind of like work for her if she was a work dog. So we need to stimulate our dogs like so many ways. So physically, mentally, and with their nose, their tongues. I have her hair now in my mouth. So when I have a lick pad for her, where there's days that I put puree on it, and I've made honey, peanut butter. So like all these things help her to drain her mentally, and then I train her so she's somewhat more focused. But I was trying to do that with the dog. I was like, ah! So I've learned my lesson. I just hope that I won't have a black eye. That's all I hope. Hello, Marcus. Yeah, well, he probably does, but they are two full-time workers, and it's different. Our conditions are different. I am physically with Luna almost 24/7. So where she is calmer, I have other problems. So when I leave the house, she has not anxiety, but when I come back, it's like if I left for like 1,000,000 years. Like she's super duper excited. So I have to deal with that excitement, but it passes down. But he is a male, and I never had a male, and I never raised puppies before. My parents used to do that for me. And when I met my husband, he had Oli, which is a Shih Tzu. She was 9 years old. So she was potty trained. She was like, everything was done. Like I met Ali. She was in her prime. Ali was a beautiful dog, a loyal dog. She was never on a leash. The only thing she had like as bad behavior is when you ran, she would bark. But other ways than that, she was a perfect dog. But Luna is my first puppy. Like I got her, she was 16 weeks old. And a prior owner had her. So I had to reprogram certain things. And the breeder, it was not like professionally bred. So it was like, let's just say I would breed Luna and have the puppies and take care of the puppies. So it was someone that was not a breeder. So the dog was not brought outside. It was on pee pads and all of that. So there are some certain things that we have to deal with now, but our two dogs are completely different because we have two different lifestyles, which like one is good and for certain things and certain things are not. But being a male and a female changes so many things. So I've read that when the male gets chopped, some of the temperament dodged down. As for the female, I'm not sure. Well, she doesn't have a temperament, so I don't know. I hope you're having a good day as well. Sunday night live is a good idea. Well, I find that it kind of puts in perspective my new week. when I finish the live, I kind of feel complete. So my week starts on Monday. I have like my little rituals, and then I plan my week. Instead of doing it on Saturday, I do it on Monday morning. And then since there's like 4 seasons, I also have 4 seasons on the homestead. So Mondays are never really the same from season to season. And sometimes it's content creation, brainstorming. Sometimes I'm studying. Sometimes it's gardening, planning. So it's never the same. But it always ends with a nice conversation with you guys. So it's a nice way to end my week. Did I miss any comments? I know. Maybe I should have like a calendar. Actually, no, last week I did not get hurt at all. Well, if you count a paper cut, I don't really call that getting hurt. But last time I got hurt was at Christmas. And that was a big neglect. Big neglect from from my husband's part and my part. Like, that could have been potentially very, very bad. Like, the way I fell in the stairs, I could have broke so many things. I could have broke my arm, could have broke my my elbow, this piece, my entire shoulder could have been dislocated, depending how I fell. I could have pulled ligaments here, and then I could have fractured a couple of ribs here. On my buttocks, I had the stair imprint for like 2 weeks. And it went from yellow, blue, purple, and then black. It was horrible. So that fall, I have to say, scared me. As I was falling, I was like, oh my God, this could be bad. I was very lucky. Very, very lucky. I had someone watching over me. And thank God my mason jar did not crack from that fall. I was actually holding a mason jar when I fell, and everyone was sleeping. I woke up the entire house with the ba-ding, ba-dang, da-boo, all that noise and my scream. Well, have a good night. It's almost bedtime for me too. Well, you're so sweet. Thank you. I did say something in my last video. Slow and I keep saying that to you. Slow and steady will win the race. And change. So let's just say that you have an end goal. So your end goal is, I don't know, grow 20 pounds of something. And the end goal is that. But you don't have to achieve it the first year. The journey to achieving 20 pounds of something is what's important. So if the first year you grow 5 pounds, well, you're not at 20 pounds, but you're still at 5 pounds. So it's better 5 pounds than 0 pounds. And the journey to 0 to 5, you probably will learn so much. And then from 5 to 15, same thing, you're going to learn. And then from 15 to 20, I don't know if you guys saw it, but that was Luna's hair in front of the camera. That's what I was saying. Luna's hair is everywhere. And I just vacuumed yesterday. It's crazy. So the journey to 15 to 20 will even be better. And then when you're going to be at 20, you're going to go, oh my God, I was able to reach 20. And let's just say you never reach 20 pounds. You keep struggling to get to that 20 pounds. Well, you've done so much work, so much to journey to, let's just say you always end up at 15. It's still good because it's better than doing nothing. That's what I try to do now. Instead of focusing on the end part, the end of the journey, I try to focus on every single step, the slow and steady. And I try to celebrate every single accomplishment. It feels good. It feels good to step forward once, even if it's 2, 3 steps. It's even better than just staying stagnant and not moving. Are you talking about what statistic are you talking about? February will start. So February is like the last month before the crazy kookiness. But there's one thing that's different this year. My garden plan is not finished. Usually the first week of January, second week of January is finished. But this year I decided it needs to be finished by February 15th or somewhere like that, somewhere around then. I think I start sowing on February 15th, something. I can't remember. So mid-February. So I know. So I said, okay, so the first week of February, I kind of need to figure out where I want to be. And I let January pass. I was not feeling it. Everyone was like on social media. I saw everyone taking out their seeds, organizing their garden. But I wasn't there yet. And I decided that when I feel that I want to work on it, I'm going to work on it. And I started the first day, I did 3 hours and I felt great. And then I had a couple of situations going on. I had to go to the doctor, the dentist, and the eye exam for one of my children. Like I had so many things going on. I wasn't able to attend to anything for like 2 weeks. And then I sat down another time for an hour, and I sat down another time for like a little under 2 hours. And I felt amazing because I was ready physically and mentally to work on my garden. Last year, when I was sitting in January, I was dreading the exercise. Like I was dreading, I have to start planning my garden. Like I have to. Like there was like a negative emotion linked to it. And I drag that throughout the entire season. Oh, I have to do this. I have to take care of my garden. I have to weed the garden. It's okay to have to do something because we're homesteaders. There's always something we have to do. But it's the emotion or the negativity that's attached to it. Like, I have to do it. It's a chore. If I don't do it, like the whole bad vibes around it. And I started the season from the start with that. And I carried it with me throughout the entire season. I did not have fun. And I said this to Annie from Mama Homemade this week. I feel excited. I haven't felt excited about gardening season in a long time. Like I was looking into different things, different options, different possibilities, and I was slightly overwhelmed. And because I'm scared, I don't want to crash again. I don't want to burn out again. I don't want to feel what I felt in August last year. Really not. I don't want to be there. So I'm scared a little bit, but I'm excited. So I'm slowly getting into the groove. I have 3 racks that is ready for growing season. I have my heat mats are out. My lights are set up. I have made sure that every single bulb works. So I have 12 racks. Sorry, 12, what do you call them? 12 trays. I have space for 12 trays ready. And my husband moved around his office and I brought up a second shelving. So the shelving where I had all my canned goods is now downstairs. So we need to move around the heights so that I can create 4 tiers so that I can have seven shelves with 4 trays, because I normally had 3 Costco shelves with each 3 shelves of lights, and potentially I always needed a 4th. And this year I need to make it work with 7. I'm not sure how that will go. So definitely I'm hoping that we can somewhat DIY like a 20 feet long shelf in the tunnel where I can put all my cold hardy crops with domes outside without the rabbits eating them, and have the heat loving crops inside if I cannot have the grow room outside. But I do have something I need to do before May 1st, which is empty garden beds and potentially find the bee nests, the wasp nests that stung me last year, so that we can destroy it before it makes me like nervous all summer long. Organizing helps, that's for sure. I'm losing my voice tonight. I hope I don't have a cold coming. If you know a big company that has that kind of calendar, X days without injury. You're so funny. Keeping track of what we use, what we plant, what we buy. I used to track so much. So when I started, I had a breeding calendar. Every single animal was tagged. They all had a pedigree. I don't know how to say that in English. So where I got it, what age they entered the farm, if they died what day, if there's anything suspicious. I had like a journal of everything. And I kind of had to sacrifice a lot of that because I never had time for myself at all. So I now do it like the breeding. I write down the date that I bred my doe and the day that it's supposed to. I have to start watching the doe's not reaction, but like if she removes her fur. And I no longer have roosters, so I don't need to track that. If I will no longer hatch eggs here for sure. I do not want to hatch eggs. I love the chick phase, the little chickies. They're all over the house. But I have like this bad luck of having like 70% of roosters. And I am so done raising roosters for like killing them or selling them or not being. So I bought eggs and I had, I think, 5 roosters. I wasn't able to place any of them. So as soon as they started chanting, I am in a village and I'm not allowed to have roosters. So we didn't want to have problems. So we isolated them in a corner of the shed. And we tried to make them grow bigger so that we can harvest them. We never could. So on 2 occasions, we had to make 3 occasions, we had to dispatch them. And my heart was broken. Like, we have this lifestyle so that we can minimize like so many things, like waste. And the fact that I'm not able to grow the rooster to maturity, I'm just left with bones. So yes, broth is fine, but I don't find that I'm giving that rooster his best life. So we no longer buy chicks unless they're sexable. Like as soon as they hatch, we know it's a female. We no longer buy chicks, and we no longer do eggs. In this year, we have decided that if we do raise chickens this year for meat, we will be raising females. So last 2 seasons, I never had this problem. They would never chant, crow, or do any sounds. But during C period, I'm not sure what happened. The first year of C, I don't want to say the word, but I'm sure you understand. The chickens we had did not sing. And ever since that second year, I started to pay attention that we bought males. They started crowing very early. So we had to harvest them earlier than usual. So I harvest mine around 60 days. And last year, I was not even close to harvest day, and they started chanting a lot. And I started getting anxious because they were not big enough. When we weigh them, we remove 40% of their poundage, and it gives us like an approximate of what we'll have once they're harvested, emptied, and frozen. So we've decided maybe this year we're not going to grow chickens, or if we do, it's going to be a smaller quantity, and I think it's only going to be females. Hello. I used to have a greenhouse, wood stove in the greenhouse, but we never plugged it. I would love to have a wood burning stove in my greenhouse. It would be like a dream. Yes, hectic and challenging. Okay, so depending on what you're growing. So go with tomatoes. Tomatoes and peppers hate cold. But lettuce, cabbages, and cold hardy crops do not like to experience heat. So I normally put my cabbage on the lower shelves. And I am thinking of buying a lead conversion kit for my grow lights because my grow light emits heat, a lot of it. So every time that all of my lights are open, it actually heats up the entire place. And since I don't have good airflow, air circulation because it's on the wall, technically it should be like in a greenhouse where there's like complete airflow all around. But mine are backed up against the wall. So I kind of need like a lot of airflow, and there's a lot of heat that gets created. So my spinach goes to seed inside the house. Some of my cabbage goes to seed inside the house. And lettuce also goes to seed. So I have to be very, very careful. But the specifics on each, I think Lynn has that information. I know she shared something similar to that. I think it's on one of the videos of Living Tradition Homestead, like a couple of years back. They had like a PDF version of everything they've learned for like $5. I think that's where I saw it, and I think Lynn spoke something about that as well. All I know is cold hardy crops don't like warm. Tomatoes, eggplant, peppers, roselles, certain flowers love the heat. But I would have to look into my Académie Potagère course I did last year if I have specifics. I'm trying to remember. And it's not good fluctuation. So this year I'm trying something different. I think I'm going to start my lights during the night. And I'm going to put a timer. So with the Let Pot hydroponic system I saw that certain item require like 16 hours of light. Like I was probably giving like maybe 10 hours of light to some of my stuff, and some of them were struggling a lot. So I'm going to put a timer. Everything's going to go on at the same time, and everything's going to go off at the same time. And I think I'm going to do from 10 a.m. or 12 a.m. p.m. till like 16 hours later. So during the night, it gets cooler in that space. So it's going to heat up during the day normally, and then the lights are going to kick in and maintain like the same temperature up till in the morning. Annie tried that last year, and she said she was having overall better success. So I'm going to try it this year. So timer, and I have to figure out if it's better to start at 10 p.m. right after we go to bed, and or 12. There's only one thing that I'm scared. So you see there's a door opening right behind me? No, wait. Right. No, wait. Wait. There. That's the office. That's where the lights will be. And right there, right next to my office, which is right in front of that door, is Luna's cage where she sleeps. And if light prevents chickens to fall asleep, I have a funny feeling that if I have like bright white light, even if it's not directly in her eyes, it could like prevent her from sleeping or aggravate her. So I have to figure out a way to cover that opening. So there. There's no doors. So I have to figure out if I do this during the night. Right now we don't have a door. So the 16 hours, I'm going to do it during the day until I can figure out a door, because I don't want to mess with Luna's sleep. Because they're supposed to sleep 16 to 19 hours, the dogs. Yeah, I'm going to figure out something like a tarp that has like sun protection or blinds or 2 sets of blinds. I'm going to come up with something for sure. I just don't want Luna to... I can move her cage, probably. But like, we've moved around the entire floor, so I don't want to move her too much. But a tarp probably will do fine. So we have a building we keep at 12 in the winter, but does it have to be warmer than that? So it depends what you're growing. If it's tomatoes, that's too cold. It won't germinate probably. Unless you... Oh, there's something I forgot to say. So if your area is 12 degrees Celsius and your grow lights are LEDs, they don't emit heat. So you're keeping an environment of 12 degrees Celsius. If you put heat pads under it, your soil will not be at 12 degrees Celsius. I think it warms up to 10 degrees, depending of the quality of your mats. But you would have to check that out, and I don't want to say the wrong information. And if your light emits some heat, you're adding to that. So if your local area is 12 degrees Celsius, your lights turn on some heat, and then you put heat mats, well then on your soil level, it could be 20. But in your area, your full area, it could be 12. If you put in fans, like I do, I put a couple of fans, so a non-heated spot becomes heated because of all my lights. We bought 12 Canadian Bresse last year. 9 of them were roosters. So a couple of years back, I bought 6 black Australorp. And I came home and I called the lady. I'm like, 2 of them look different. What's up with that? Like, I asked 6 black Australorp. And she's like, oh, I messed up. I gave you 2 coucou marins. So I'm like, oh my God, marin. I've been dying to have marin. I have 2, so, I have a 50% chance of having, 1 male, 1 female. I had 5 males. That's the final decision that made me realize that I no longer want to buy chicks. Last year I was gifted 4 chicks, and as soon as I identified the rooster, I told my friend, I'm like, listen, I don't mind. She gifted me them. And I'm like, I don't mind. The only thing I ask from you is you pick up the roosters. I can't do I can't. Emotionally I can't. I cannot take a life of a rooster so early on. So every time I identified a rooster, I would call her. So I had 2. She would bring back another one. And I ended up having 2 hens. One was beautiful. Oh my gosh, she was beautiful. Gray colors. And something attacked her. One male was attacked. I was able to rescue him. And the female died. And I still have one. And this year, same thing. She wants to exchange produce for hens. And she's like, do you want chicks? I'm like, hell no. I want pullets. Like, I want to make sure that they're pullets. I don't want to get... There was one that we called Wednesday last year. I love that bird. I got attached to it. It was beautiful. And it started singing. I was devastated. I was like so sad. I was sure that she was a female. Well, he was a female. And he started singing. So she came to pick him up and brought me another one, which is the one we have now. That out of the 4, one survived. And that one is giving me beautiful light. So it's a leghorn mix. So leghorn usually gives white eggs, but it has like this pink hue on it. And it's beautiful eggs, and it's smaller eggs. So I have one. But this year, I don't know, she has a couple of breeds that she wants to introduce to me. One of them being a Marin. So I might, in my lifetime, experience the thrill of having a Marin. I don't know if you guys know what that is. Please tell me someone knows what a Marin is. Maran. Yes, 4 seasons, 4 different lives. That's how I feel sometimes. Welcome. I don't know where you are, Marcus, but definitely here. I keep saying this every year, but this year it's weird, so weird. So we have a warm February. Like, we have over freezing temperatures. Usually February is the coldest month of the year. We don't have that much snow. So we have snow and then it melts. When we adopted Luna last year, we adopted her on football. What do you call it? Super Bowl. So we went to pick her up on Sunday of the Super Bowl of last year. I had snow almost higher, a little bit higher than midway of me. So at least like a good 3-4 feet of snow. I think we have under 2 feet of snow right now. I have pictures of Luna sitting on like almost higher than me in mid-February of last year. We have no snow. We have rain, ice rain in the same day. So there's one day last week I had everything. So it was raining, ice rain, and then sunshine, and then snow. All in the same day. It's like Mother Nature does not know what to give. Yes, black copper moran. So the bird itself, the female, so the hen of the black copper marin is like nothing like, wow, the colors are beautiful, but I mean, I've seen more beautiful breeds than the marin. But the male is, I had a black copper marin rooster, and he was beautiful. He was tame. Like, he was, I wish that I was able to keep him. I never had issues with him. He was calm. He had a favorite hen. They were like always next to each other. I was hoping to keep her eggs to, what do you call it, to hatch out the chicks, but I put the eggs into the turner, and 5 days after, I think, I stopped working and we DIY'd something, and I think I had like, I can't remember what happened. No, her eggs were not fertile. So he was beautiful. But the hens are different. They're more like a normal look. They're dark black with like rusty colors, but it's their eggs. Their eggs are beautiful. Like, beautiful. And I talked to her about olive eggers last year. She has a Americanas, which are blue eggs, and she bought marin eggs, and she's hatching them out. And maybe not this year, but the next year, she might have olive eggers F2. I would love, like, if, like, there's a couple of things I would love to have as eggs. It's black copper marans, olive eggers, the blue eggs. So I need another blue laying hens. My pumpkin is 6 years old. I don't know if she still lay eggs, and I have another Easter egger that is 5 years old. So maybe they give me like 2 eggs a week, 2-3 eggs a week, them too. So I know that within the next 2 years, if I still want to have blue eggs, I need to replace her. So she has available blue eggs, blue, green, and marin. I don't know when she breeds her birds, if there's visual defects on her birds. She just gives them to me, or she sells them to me. I don't mind. Like, if her paw's not yellow and it has like little dots on it, I don't mind. I just want to have that once in my life, have marin eggs and olive egger eggs. It would be nice. Warm also. I'm bracing for cold spring, I think. I don't know. I don't know what to think. So I used to check the weather like all the time. And now I feel like, hi Tracy. So it kind of feels weird. Like, now I'm like looking on my phone, and when I drop off the kids at school, I look into my phone and I ask myself, okay, what's going on for today? And like, I see 2 degrees Celsius. That's ridiculous. It's supposed to be minus 40. I'm not complaining, but I'm actually worried. It's supposed to be cold. It is supposed to be cold when you think of it. And the fact that it's not cold, is it going to create problems? I'm trying to charge my phone. It's not working. So, is it going to bring up some creepy crawlers? Is it going to change our growing season? Do we need to adapt? Do we need to learn new things? But I try not to let fear too much control. You never run out of things to talk about. I try not to, especially on my lives. I hope my flower bulbs come in from... Oh, nice. What'd you plant? I think there is some false germination. Where did your comment go? It's so... I can't remember if it's Tracy from T-Han141 that said this, but bees. I'm worried about bees. I was telling this with my husband yesterday. they're coming out of their hives. It's not the time to come out of their hive, but they're seeing that the temperatures are ideal. The sun is not up as long as it should, and then will they have enough time to come back home? So that's my second worry. So are there going to be creepy crawlers coming up that can kill me in my garden, like snakes, tarantulas? Or our friends, the bees, will they survive this winter? Good night. Yes, this weather sucks. Are supposed to be abundant this year. What is that? Is that a flower? No. What is that? A new word. Oh, so sorry. I think it's bedtime also for me. Okay, so CI. Superfly family. Is that a good thing or bad thing? Okay, they're bugs. But is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't remember seeing those. Oh, those are big. Ew. Ugh. I saw a video saying a merging of swarms may happen this year. I planted tulips. I would love to have tulips. I hope I'll be able to I've been wanting to plant tulips every single winter. Well, fall. But I never seem to get to that. It's like I ordered something. I'm super excited. Then my brain goes off. What did I order again? I feel like Dory sometimes from Nemo. Night, night. Like, I think the ecosystem is like shifting. And regardless the reason why it's shifting, we're seeing change. I feel alarmed by it. As a human being, we adapt. Like, our climate will change, we'll adapt. Well, most of us adapt, I should say. Homesteaders have a tendency of adapting. Others might have trouble adapting, but I find that we adapt because we have to. I don't know how much intelligent the creeper. That's another Luna's hair that just passed next to me. So I don't know how much bees. They are very intelligent creatures, but will they be able to adapt to those changes, or will in this lifetime we'll see breeds disappear? That's like my motherly instinct, I think. Like bees. We can't live without bees. Bees are like the reason why we eat food, like tomatoes, peppers, green beans. We don't absolutely need bees because we can hand pollinate a lot of stuff. But like, imagine if you have like 10 acres of food and you're a farmer. You can't do that on your own. Every so many years, the Earth orbits, gets closer to the sun for a few years, then it will cool off. Okay. The mama bear in me is worried. Like, every time I see those every year they say how many beehives were lost. It just, I don't know, it just comes and it gets me because it's like they provide so much food for us. Well, not provide, but they make us able to have on easier a lot of the crops that we eat, because without them we would have to walk with our with our paintbrush And man, can you imagine hand pollinating 100 plants of tomatoes on a weekly basis? I don't know. I think that would discourage me. I would have like fans outside blowing wind. But I don't know. It's the mama bear in me. There's some creepy crawlers that, I can live without. Like vine borers. What do you call those? The cucumber beetles, the potato beetles, um, the Japanese beetle. I could live without them. I don't know if they serve anyone. I don't know if there are food to anyone. If they are, I'm really sorry. But what else? There's another one. Oh, the leaf miners. I could live without those. Um, there's another. There's another one. Leaf miners and that butterfly. That white butterfly. Cabbage moth. Okay, so next Sunday it is Super Bowl. Last year I had a very short live. And I had Luna that night for the first time. So I don't think I stayed on long if I did have live. So what time is the Super Bowl again? I don't have cable, so I don't watch it. I think it's at 9. Super Bowl 58 kickoff is at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. That can't be right. Oh, 6 p.m. Wait. Okay, so it's at 6:30. So I don't think I will be having a live. Because I start at 7:30. Well, I can ask. I can do a community post and ask. Because I must not be the only one that does not watch the Super Bowl. Night, Tracy. Thank you for popping in. I'm also going to go to bed. But I'm going to do a community post about it. I think like most of the population watch it. So last year I think it was at 9 my time. What do you guys think? Who's here? I know most of the people I talk to that normally pops on watches it. I'll wait for that answer and then I'm going to tuck myself to bed. Okay. I don't hate football. I just don't particularly like it. NFL Plus, it's monthly and allows me to watch on mobile. Like hockey, football, I used to watch, like when I was in college, we were going out as friends. We would go to casual spa or like restaurants that had the big screen TVs. I would go, but I was not going to watch the game. I was going to the social event. Same thing with hockey. A lot of my friends in college watch. Well, I was in like the only girl in my class, so obviously there was a lot of sports involved. So Super Bowl, hockey, soccer. Every time we would gather up and do some stuff, they would watch sports. Me being the only girl, there was the second year I was there. We would go out. The boys wouldn't go do girly stuff because it was just us two. So I ended up watching a lot of Super Bowl and a lot of hockey and a lot of soccer, and they were gamers. So we would go to LANs and gaming events, and like we would tag along. But I no longer do that. Like I was just doing it for the social event. But, oh, did I say hi, Fox? If I didn't, I'm sorry. Hi. Happy Sunday. So if I do a live next week, it's going to be like an intimate thing because most of America will probably be watching that. So I have two answers. So there's two other people in the background. Let's see. Let's give it one more minute and then I'm going to tuck myself to bed. It is almost 10 here. I'm supposed to be in bed by 9:30 and every single Sunday I chit chat. And then Monday morning is a bit hard, but so worth it. Sorry. Well, look, I'll do a community post and I'll go from there. And if I have a couple of people that does not watch the Super Bowl or wants to pop in, pop out, between the game and the pregame starts at 10 a.m. I'm 10 a.m. I'm working at 10 a.m. on Sunday. The Super Bowl has the halftime, I used to watch it on replay. I watched a couple. I enjoyed the halftime with Beyonce and what's his name? Uptown Funk Me Up. They sang that song together. What's Bruno Mars? I enjoyed that one. I don't even think I watched last year's. But I think that's like most of the stuff. It's Usher this year. I really enjoy that artist, Bruno Mars. Like I really love his style. Uptown Funk is one of my favorites. Rihanna was last year. It's true. I think I watched clips. There was so much drama. There's always so much drama about everything around the Super Bowl, like the ads, the halftime show. But from what I remember, last year was Rihanna's, the clips that I watched was pretty great. I have to deal with that junk at work next week. I'm not happy about it. Looking forward to the Yes, he is. He is. I find that he has that vibe of Michael Jackson a little bit. And everything about him, the way he moves, the way he talks, the way he moves his facial muscle when he sings, and he dances, and his backup vocals participate. He always gives a show. I've never been disappointed in one of his songs. He's one of the artists that I enjoy listening often. There's not as much the newer art. I prefer like older music, even before my time. My parents raised me on old rock and roll. My sisters were born in the 70s, so I listen a lot of like rock from the 60s, 80s, And my husband being older than me, I also listen to music like from a generation prior to me. I started listening a lot also to country music. A friend, my husband, introduced me to Luke Bryan. What's his name? When you look at him, he looks like a rapper. He has tattoos, but he has like that deep voice, deep voice. He's so good. What's his name? I forgot his name. What's his name? He's tanned. He's not light skin. He's tan skin. Wait, John Party? Nope, not him. Jelly Roll. I don't think that's him. No, not him. His voice is super deep. And like you would look at him and you would never think that that sound would come out of him. That was the first impression I had. And he is in country music. I hate searching for names. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Country singer, deep voice. Let's see if Mr. Google Pants can help me out. Him! Kane Brown. It's Kane Brown. Who? No. So Kane Brown, I was surprised by his voice. And there's another one. He's older also. He always wear this one. Wait, let me see if I can zoom in. No, I can't. Tim McGraw. Blake Shelton also. Luke Bryan. And there was a group of two men, I should say. They were boys when they started. Now there are men. Florida Georgia Line. There's one song from them that I listened over and over again. It is called... It's not soul. It's like a Christian song. Hold on. I'm going to figure it out. I hate when my brain does this to me. I have it like... They played a song with Backstreet Boys. There's another song. Holy. If you haven't listened to this song, it's a slow song. I'm going to write it down here. If you haven't listened to this song, it's a beautiful song to listen with your loved ones. Amazing fun. I don't know this one. That one I don't know either. The first song I was introduced was from Luke Bryan, which was Hunting, Fishing, and Loving Every Day. That song from Kane Brown, I can't remember the name. Justin Timberlake did a song with a country singer also. Those are like the first country music I was introduced to. OCD flare-ups. I don't know that one. Oh, no, I'm not OCD. I'm not OCD. Well, could be. Could be a little bit of obsessive, because I did have that. I did have obsessive. Compulsive, no. But I did have that part last year. Is there another one that's worth mentioning since we're like country music? When he introduced me to that type of music, country music, Fred said, I did not know that. He's like, what do you think is the most popular type of music in the United States? So I was like, rap, soul, R&B. I was thinking that. And he's like, no, it's country music. I was so surprised when he said that. And then he started showing me, starting with Loving, that Lou Bryan song, and a couple of Florida Georgia Line. And slowly he introduced me to a lot. And I kind of fell in love with a lot of the classics. Heartache on the Dance Floor. I can't play it because then my live will be flagged, but I'll check it out. Oh, Party. Heartache. Is it called Heartache Medication? No, I'm not writing it correctly. So John Party. So it's called Heartache Medication. Same Old Life. I've never heard that one. Holy is like a slower song, but what got me is the video of the song. Same thing with hunting, fishing, and loving every day. The video of those two songs are so nicely made, and the music is so touching. Head Over Boots is my favorite. Probably heard that one. That sounds familiar. But there's so many good artists out there that I did not even know, because I was brought up into more like rock music. AC/DC was what my dad listened. Pink Floyd, like Elvis Presley. So many like oldie music, but never really country music. So I was never brought up to learn about it or hear about it or actually have a love for it, because it was not something my parents would listen. So I'm kind of happy to have discovered that part of music is culture. So I would say the culture of the United States. And there's some here also, smaller in Canada, but it's something interesting. Well, I'm just saw the time. It's really past my bedtime. Hi, Patrick. I'm going to say hi and bye to you. I'm so sorry. I was supposed to be in bed at 9:30 and it's 10. So I guess I'll see you on Tuesday, Patrick, for episode 3 of the podcast, the No Border Homestead. Patrick. Well, bye, Fox. Thank you, everyone, for staying this long with me. Good night. Yeah, so I'm not sure what I'll do. Since Fox said he doesn't watch it, I don't watch it. Even if it's just like a couple of people, I don't mind. It could be a shorter live. You know what? I think I'm just gonna do it. I'm not gonna change anything. Whoever wants to chat, they're more than welcome, and the more the merrier. If it's just a couple of us, well, then it's gonna be a short live, and I'll be able to share what's going on and like the meals that I'm doing. And what's lovely is that live can be watched in recap. So if it's like a small version live, people can watch it. So everyone, I hope you have a fantastic week and we will chat later. Take care. Bye.